Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and I'm off my medications again. Now that being said, it usually leads to a spicier video, but this video is all about a public service announcement, and it's why I dislike the actual scalping market beyond any belief. Now if you don't know, the Nintendo Switch is a very popular gaming console, okay? A lot of people like the Nintendo Switch. I like the Nintendo Switch. You know what, you know who likes the Nintendo Switch? You know, reseller Randy. That's who likes the Nintendo Switch a lot. Now if you don't know, buying a Nintendo Switch is like trying to find the Lost Ark of the Covenant at this point. You might be able to get a Nintendo Switch Lite, but when you want to get that big boy full fat Switch experience, good luck. Now, this video started off from someone who absolutely was trying to buy this as a birthday present for a nephew that was coming up. You know, I was figuring out a Nintendo Switch is nice, I'll buy them a Switch, you know, like Zelda, a game or two, and that'll be a pretty awesome birthday present. Well, I go to Walmart, I go to Best Buy, I even go to the really weird stores downtown, and I could not find a Nintendo Switch. I just couldn't. All right. Now, some of them had a Switch Mini. That was only discovered when I went like 20, 30 minutes out to a city no one has ever heard of in Canada that had a Walmart. And it was one of those really conservative Walmarts where they still thought video games were a bad influence. So they had the video game section at the back of Walmart. Like you were walking into Blockbuster back in the day. God, I feel old. And you were trying to buy a dirty DVD and you had to go through the saloon doors. That's what it felt like. And I found like one Nintendo Switch. So I decided, you know, I'm going to try to find this big boy Nintendo Switch. And this is where we are right now. I was on the internet an hour ago trying to find me a Switch. And boy, oh boy, let's just go through the rabbit hole. Now here you can see on Amazon, I'm on the website, okay, I'm all fine and dandy, it's all good, it's all Gucci. Alright, you can see that they have a Nintendo Switch Lite turquoise finally in sale, but again, I'm not trying to get no Switch Lite, okay? I ain't trying to fuck with that light shit. I want that big boy stuff, you know what I mean? I want that big Switch. Not to say that this is bad, I literally only saw this post today. I did check yesterday and it wasn't there, but let's go down. Now, they've also got Nintendo Switch with gray Joy-Cons. You're like, oh wow, that's a good... Wow, it's right there, Muda. Okay, let's click on that real quick. Let's just go through it. Was that 13 new from 629 Canadian, 9 used from 559 Canadian, 14 collectible? Let's check the collectibles out real quick. Oh, the collectibles just the regular console? I don't think that's really a collectible, homie. All right, that's not a collectible. That's the base unit. You liars. Oh, let's go to the neon blue, neon red Joy-Cons thing. Those are actually kind of rare. $639, $630. The collectibles are cheaper than the brand new one. What? That's poggers, dude. This is the most egregious one, by the way. The Animal Crossing New Horizon bundle. I mean, if you ever wanted the feeling of being fisted this hard, this is where you go to. 1,000 whopping buckaroonies for a Nintendo Switch Animal Crossing? Bro, you out of your mind? I could buy me and my significant other a Nintendo Switch with Animal Crossing and we could play together for that price. What's wrong with you? I love how the collectible is cheaper than the new. The whole damn thing is a collectible. And they just what is this? Amazon's wild, dude. Now, I understand there's a lot of people say, but Muda, the economy, it's supply and demand. Listen, I'm not dogging on, you know, Randy Reseller and his hustle or anything. Trust me, I don't like most resellers or scalpers in any case. But let's just be honest here. Is it really the reseller that we have to complain about here? Or is it Nintendo? Well, let's just look through a couple more listings. Now, this is eBay, okay? eBay is a very respectable site that you can buy a lot of overpriced scalped goodies from, too. Here you can see new Nintendo Switch console, $530. Okay, $530. Cool. $530? What do you out of here? Well, at least you got free shipping. 42 sold. 42 sold! There were 42 suckers for this! Then you just keep going down the degenerate shit pile, and you can find that the Switch Gray, the light ones, yeah, they're normal price, because Nintendo keeps them into stock. But Nintendo knows that people want that big boy Switch, don't they? That's what Nintendo knows. And that doesn't really hit this, that does not hit the market all too often. You can even see over here that this is actually the best deal on the Animal Crossing right now. Like, I legit, if I wasn't this angry, I'd probably buy that for $520. That's actually not a bad deal. But I'm not going to do it because that would be supporting this disgusting, abhorrent practice. Okay, let's just be real here. If you don't know what's going on, this is what we call scalping. And Nintendo is very, very infamous for having their products completely scalped. Now, let me just give you some, like, circumstantial evidence, so to speak. Now, PlayStation PlayStations and Xboxes. You know, when you go to the stores, I can still find PS4 Pros and Xbox One X's. I can still find Microsoft Sony consoles with ease. Maybe some stores are sold out, obviously because of the global, issues that we have going around us. But I can still find myself a PlayStation and Xbox with some relative ease. The reality with Nintendo systems is not only are the Nintendo systems gone, but the last time I went to one of the Walmarts closest to me, even the games were gone. The only thing available in the Nintendo aisle at this point are the GameCube controllers, the wireless controllers, or any peripheral that most people aren't just ripping off the store shelves anyways. So this takes me to the next point, okay? Most people don't understand this, but I feel personally, this is my personal opinion, Nintendo to me always appears to have facilitated this garbage practice. If you don't know what I mean, imagine it like this, okay? Nintendo makes 1,000 consoles and ships it to a store, right? Let's just say they do that. It's in their interest that all 1,000 of those consoles are just sold, so they can report to a shareholder, we made 1,000 full-on Nintendo Switch sales. It doesn't matter to Nintendo if Randy Reseller buys 1,000 of those Switches and sells them all himself, because at that point the burden of selling this goddamn thing is on Randy, not on Nintendo. So they already have their hands clean, they already have their money. It's up to Randy to sell 1,000 Switches, and trust me, it ain't that easy. Not everyone has a level of disposable income this high, and even those that do look at this and laugh. All right, that's pretty much what goes on. So the burden of selling the product goes on to somebody else entirely. That's the thing. Nintendo has the long game in mind. And this is precisely what a lot of toy manufacturers do anyways. I mean, have you ever really thought about it? If you ever hit my age and you have young children to buy presents for, going to a Toys R Us around Christmas, around any massive holiday, is just absolutely hell to go through. I mean, you really understand artificial scarcity as a concept when you're buying presents for children, and that's the same thing that goes with Nintendo Switch. They know if they know they can make 10,000 Switches, right? They know they can meet market demand, but they make 5,000 on purpose. Why? Because they know 5,000 are just going to fly off store shelves. So when they start flying off store shelves, and you've got, a parent who walks in buying a game console for their kid around Christmas, they're going to notice 100 Xboxes. Okay, cool. I guess kids aren't dying for Xboxes. They're going to notice 100 PlayStations. Okay, I guess kids aren't caring about PlayStations all that much. They're going to see 0 Nintendo Switches, and they're going to be like, wow, I guess this is a hot product. So they know in their mind that's what they have to get, even though the product isn't exactly necessarily rare. The company outright made it rare, and you can't prove this one way or the other. It is what it is. Artificial scarcity happens, but you can't outright say that that's what the company is doing anyways. It's just impossible to prove it. But, I mean, if you look at all the circumstantial evidence and try to piece it together in your head, you can see what's going on. Same thing with children's toys. You know they can make 300 Elmos. They just made 100 of them, so parents fight over everything to get those 100. They just want to sell Elmo. They don't care. They don't want to have Elmo stock lying around. They just want it gone. They want to report to their shareholders that they have everything sold. And that's pretty much what goes on with these Nintendo console projects. It's precisely why even their games, I feel, never go down in price. They just want to keep that perceived value super high. It's actually kind of anti-consumer, right? You look at every other game manufacturer, they're always trying to meet console demand. They're always trying to actually put sales on their games. I mean, say what you will about Sony or Microsoft, but I've always seen a big leading game from them, hit sales a month, 2 months down the road to get more people into the ecosystem versus just trying to make a buck and cash it out as quick as you can. It's an abhorrent practice, and it's something that I feel, anytime I hear somebody defend it, like from Nintendo's angle, like some Nintendo fanboy tries to tell me, it's not that bad, I immediately think of them as a complete fucking smooth brain, and their entire arguments get shot to shit because they know in their minds, all right, that what I'm saying has truth and validity to it. They're just too stuck up Nintendo's butt cheeks to come out of it and really think for themselves. It's to a point where, this is a post that had 500,000 views, okay? This is about how to build a Nintendo Switch to starve online price gougers. This has been so price gouged. I mean, this person says it was up to $450 to $600 in the Seattle area for a used Nintendo Switch. That's bad. So they figured out the exact components you need to buy these devices, buy all this, $199 total, and then build it yourself. I mean, when people are doing that to your game console, you have made a mistake, is what I'm saying, all right? These people have found a way to manufacture. This is one of the first times I've seen an active console in the market have its entire build instructions released just so you can build it yourself. I don't know if this even works or not, but it looks like the real goddamn thing to an extent. I'm wondering how they even get the OS onto it, if anything. Maybe they just use like a dead board or whatever the fuck it is and like bring it back to life. It's wild. Even the Japanese, all right, this is like one store who like tried to like, I guess, become a reseller or try to like starve out the reseller somehow, and they even got the goddamn police involved into the situation, dude. When Japanese fucking police are involved into it, you know something's wild, dude. This is insane. This is insanity. Over a children's toy, over a video game console. What the fuck? You know, I normally don't like to be so fucking unhinged, but the reality of it is this kind of stuff is important to me, and when I look at stuff in the video game market, this has been going on for years at this point. It's not just the Nintendo Switch has had an issue with. I distinctly remember even the Wii U had some slight issues, even during trying to buy it. I don't know why that was the case, considering the Wii U was an abysmal failure in terms of, I believe, sales. I remember this distinctly also happening with the Wii at some point. I know that I wanted to get a Wii way back in the day, and I pestered my parents for it. And it's not like we didn't have the money for it and they didn't want to. They missed a birthday, and literally they told me that they just could not find a Wii anywhere. And that's okay. That's fine. I never understood why my parents couldn't find that Wii. But now that I'm that age, you know, or at least closer to it, I realize just why. It's because artificial scarcity. It's because they still have toy company roots. I don't know how anybody defends it. I don't know what's up with it. All I can say is at the end of the video, if you enjoyed watching, let me know. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. But the most important message over here in this video is I should take my meds. And you should not purchase a Switch from a reseller. Fucking protest that shit. You don't need to play Animal Crossing. You don't need to play nothing on the Switch right now. Half of the library is on Wii U anyways. Just hold off. Please do not give your money to these disgusting scalpers who are consistently pushing this practice, because once they stop getting their money, the more they stop using bots to auto-buy the inventory. And Nintendo realizes that this practice needs to stop, and they should come back to normal land and start actually pushing their product out for everyone versus just trying to make their shareholders happy. Or at least that's what Muda's personal opinion is. You come to your own conclusion. I am out.